action. Hi everyone, it's me again. You're gonna be so sick of me. You won't even know what to do with yourselves. So I am not gonna be playing with my hands today because I got lots of fan mail about my boob fondling. Even Playboy came up to me and emailed me and said if I wanted to do a feature on boob fondling, and I said no, because my sisters get to get it for free. You don't have to pay for it. So that was my boob fondling and the hair twirling, but now my hair is up. This is called the Bee's Nest Do. That we have no idea what's in here, but there's lots of goodies. So that's just my videotaping hairdo today. We're busy preparing for the show on Friday, which we expect to see you all there. I don't care where you're from, that's no excuse. And today Ed Brew forced me to do a video even with the Bird's Nest Do, and told me that we should talk about mounting our stamps. So the first thing that you're gonna need is a venti, non-fat, no foam, extra hot, what is it? A misto. And then it's non-fat like I said, but I also get half a shot of toffee nut. It is so good, just don't tell Jenny. Last week Jenny Craig was 1.6 down, so total 8.6. 7,843 to go, and this weekend was a disaster, so I don't even want to discuss it. Friday can only be, I wish Friday was 3 weeks away so I had a chance to catch up for my debacle. So now we're going to do mounting on Easy Mount. Now if you ask me how I mount my stamps, I don't mount them. I actually just use double-sided tape and an acrylic block. It's the easiest, the cheapest, and the best way and easiest to store, but that's just me. I like to, first of all, you should have a clean block. Mine is not clean. I just deal with whatever I have. Okay, so another thing, before I start, I'm gonna actually tell you something. My hands are extremely cracked and disgusting. I don't know if you can see them,
Here.
but
I'll turn it so that way you can see. Yeah.
I can see my hands now.
Yes.
What I have discovered, there's a couple of products that I use on my hands, and I just started using them because I use a lot of paints and inks and anything messy. So I put a barrier cream on. It's a silicone cream that covers all cracks and deep treats your hands, and nothing else can penetrate. So if you like to play and smush, it's the best thing to use. So of course, did I use it today? No. Okay, so let's proceed. I take a quasi-clean block. I take my double-sided tape. This is my favorite one out now. It's the Scotch Adhesive Dot Roller Permanent. I love it. It's refillable. It glues down nicely, and it's still a little bit forgiving, which is what I need, lots of forgiving. And then I just put a couple of strips. I put my stamp on. I ink up. I usually don't use StazOn, but I'm going to use it for another project, so I'll just show you. And then I'll take, oh, this is clean, hee hee. And then I just stamp. And it comes out clear. If some people like to use foam and like to have the mounting, you can always put a magazine underneath or a mouse pad, and that'll give you the cushion that you need. I really don't need the cushion, and I like to just store them as pieces of rubber. I put them in the sleeves of the Bella binder, which I'll probably do a tutorial on how to use that binder too when I get more stock in. So that's that. Now I want to show you the hot knife, which I have plugged in. It takes about 5 minutes. There it is. It takes about 5 minutes to heat up. You get replacement blades. You can always get replacement blades for it. And I always talked about it and said that it cuts like butter. It really, really, really cuts like butter. And I love this thing. Although I had a bit of a disaster at a show last year where I was demoing it, didn't realize that it fell, smelled something burning, and blamed all of my neighbors that it was their fault that they were burning something. And sure enough, smoke was rising between my legs in front of my demo table. And I noticed that it fell and burnt everything under me. So please, please, please be careful with this. It's a very powerful tool. I don't use it to cut the rubber, I use it to cut the foam, and I'm gonna show you how. Okay, so there's two different kinds of Easy Mount. There's the thin, which I think you can see here, it's very, very thin. I think it's 1/8 of an inch thick. And then there's the thicker one, which is about 1/4 inch thick, I think, if not a little bit more. like I said, I don't use any of them, but if I were to choose, I would probably choose the thinner one because it gives clingability and storage. So let us do our cutting on the thin one. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna see that on the Easy Mount there's two sides. One side is the permanent side and one side is the cling side. The permanent side is the one that has the print on it. So you'll see it's extremely, see my paint coming off? That's cool. Now I know how to remove paint from my fingers. The other side is the cling side, and you'll see here, it's also black, but it's not as tacky, and this is what'll cling to your block. Now I get a cajillion emails saying, I just got your stamps and I don't know what to do with them, and they don't cling to the block. So I will show you what happens if you put the stamp right on the block. So it's not an acrylic stamp, it's not a vinyl stamp, it just needs to be adhered. So here we go. You have to be like an architect when you're using your Easy Mount because you want to maximize your space as much as you can. So I'll take the corner here with my paint hand print, and I'll try not to have any waste. So can you see it? Yeah. So I'll stick my stamp down here. Now when you get your stamps, they're already hand cut and hand trimmed by us. So every piece is not machine touched. It's all done with love, by hand, by us. So you get a little piece of me, or a little piece of me every time you get a shipment from me. Okay, so the first thing before you start is you take a sip of coffee. That's number one, so you're ready. Then you're gonna take the tip of your knife, and you have to make sure that you have a heat resistant glass plate, marble plate, cutting mat, anything that's heat resistant, because really anything can melt. It goes up to, I think, 900 degrees. So you're going to just insert. Do you hear the butter? I hear the butter. And you're just gonna trace. If you feel like trimming the stamp a little bit before you go on, go ahead, but it's really not necessary. And then you just follow the outline. I'm gonna turn the stamp a little bit so it's easier on my hand. And I'm just gonna continue. And it literally just melts through the mount. Everybody should have a hot knife. Everybody. Don't you think I should be on the Food Network? Just talking about food? I don't know why I got food in my head, because really, this is stamps. Okay, so I'm gonna continue. I'm just going around. You would think that, and if you wanna check how far you've gone, you're gonna do this, and I've gone all the way around. So you're gonna see it pop out like butter. And that's done with that. So then I'm gonna put aside this, take another sip of coffee, because once you're done you have to celebrate. And then you're gonna see the black behind it. That's the cling. So now you no longer need a clingy block because your stamp is clingy. This side, believe it or not, has no tape on it, even though it looks like there is. And I'm just gonna put my stamp on, and voila, it's done. And I'll stamp it just to show you, just to prove it to you that I know how to mount my stamps. And then I sometimes do a little song in my head when I tap it. And don't ever do this. When you're inking your pen, don't thunk it into here. That's a big taboo. Anybody in my class, I scream at them for doing that. You want to have even coverage on your stamp. You want to make sure everything is covered. Always close your stamp pad. And then, ta-da! Perfect image. So that's how you do it. That's the secret to Easy Mount. Really not rocket science. We sell the hot knife in our store. I think it's really a valuable tool, especially if you're just starting to collect Bella stamps. I think it's a very, and a lot of people are going the way of unmounted. This takes really, you can't even tell the difference. I think I'm gonna actually mount all my stamps on this because it makes it easier. But if you look at the naked rubber and you look at the mounted with thin mount rubber, you'll see that there's really not much of a difference. Although if you use the thick one, it would add a lot of bulk. So really, I think the thin way is to go. You can still slip it into the binder and easy peasy. Okay, you might get gunk on your blade, but it should melt off because of the heat. It should get off of there. You can also take a wet cloth and wipe it off while it's hot. You can also replace, the body is for life really. You can always replace and get replacement blades as you go on. I believe there's other uses for this. I think you can use it for wood and other things, but I would keep the blade that you're using for the mounting foam, keep it the same blade, just like scissors. You can't use scissors for fabric and paper. You must separate them. So that's what I would recommend with this. Toss it out, like wrap it up before you toss it out so it doesn't pinch anybody, and you're ready to go.